The CDC issues guidelines for vaccinated people. Are babies racist? And the effort to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom. That and more on this week's headlines. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. The CDC issued its first set of guidelines on how fully vaccinated people can safely visit with others. They announced that those who have been fully vaccinated can visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or staying 6 feet apart. So once you get these body shots, you can get these body shots. Get it, Nana? But the CDC director says everyone, even those who are vaccinated, should continue with all mitigation strategies when in public settings. The CDC still discourages unnecessary travel, even for those that have been fully vaccinated, saying every time there's a surge in travel, we have a surge in cases in this country. Besides travel, other behavior vaccinated people should refrain from includes spitting out your chewing gum in water fountains, constantly posting photos of your food on social media, repeating a joke that no one laughed at, only louder, and repeating a joke that no one laughed at, only louder. These behaviors actually have nothing to do with being vaccinated, it's just common decency. The CDC's decision to discourage travel has been met with pushback by the airline industry. Industry group Airlines for America said in a statement, the heavily filtered air and federally mandated mask wearing on planes are enough. We remain confident that this layered approach significantly reduces risk. Airlines for America says the charge that flying poses a coronavirus risk is outrageous. Of course, the most outrageous charge in airports is still $19 for a 6-ounce bag of Cheez-Its. There goes all my stimulus money. Speaking of which, in an update from our story last week about Biden's massive COVID stimulus bill, this week, Congress officially passed the final version of the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. And Biden signed it into law on Thursday, which means stimulus checks are getting cut this weekend, metaphorically speaking, for people who have direct deposit. One key change to the COVID stimulus package was the Senate reduced the unemployment supplement from $400 down to $300 and limited the number of people receiving stimulus checks. This $1.9 trillion stimulus bill is a major win for President Biden. You can tell how happy he is in this candid photo of him right after signing it. More after the break. Welcome back. This week, President Biden also addressed the nation on the 1-year anniversary of the 2-week coronavirus lockdown. In his hopeful speech, President Biden said that if we all stay vigilant, we could finally flatten the curve in July.
If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day. That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together. After this long, hard year, that will make this Independence Day something truly special, where we not only mark our independence as a nation, but we begin to mark our independence from this virus.
And with our newfound independence, we will finally be able to touch each other again.
For we are fundamentally a people who want to be with others, to talk, to laugh, to hug, to hold one another.
Unless you listen to CNN, which asks, even with hope on the horizon, what's the point of ever leaving home again? Because everything is a risk. So everyone should just stay home forever. As long as you're rich enough to have everything delivered to your house by poor people, like the person who wrote that article. Speaking of wealthy, privileged people, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were interviewed by Oprah this week about their departure from the royal family and relocation to Southern California. In the interview, nothing interesting was revealed, and it didn't dominate news coverage, distracting from more important stories like the growing immigration crisis at the border. Just kidding, the interview is all people talked about. Meghan divulged that there were concerns shared with Harry by a royal over how dark their son Archie's skin would be when he was born. She implied it might be because of racism. While she was pregnant, she was also told by the firm operating the business of the royal family that her son wouldn't be given any royal title nor the protection that goes with it. Harry and Meghan wouldn't divulge which royal had these conversations with them, saying it would be damaging. And if anyone would know how damaging racist allegations can be against a member of the royal family, it's definitely Harry. But hey, that's British news. And here in America, we don't have to worry about pampered crybabies being racist. Except in Arizona. The Arizona Department of Education is conducting a review of its equity-related resources after a graphic surfaced suggesting babies as young as 3 months are racially biased. The graphic says babies aren't too young to talk about race, and that silence about race reinforces racism. The Arizona Department of Education said in a statement, "We are committed to ensuring that all resources available on our website meet the highest standards. However, the department is currently conducting an internal review of the recently publicized resources around equity." Well, I certainly hope they realize we do need to talk about this. It's about time we do something about all these racist babies. Did you know, before their first birthday, most babies begin dabbling in brownface, or that they're distrustful of Middle Easterners after playing Here Comes the Airplane, or that they're scared of illegals coming across the border to steal their nose. If you don't get baby racism under control, then by the time they're 4, they might do something even more racist. Like read Dr. Seuss. More after the break. Welcome back. California is set to reopen ballparks and Disneyland starting on April 1st. That's a little over a year after California became the first state to issue a stay-at-home order to fight the spread of the coronavirus. I gotta say though, reopening baseball stadiums in California seems pretty risky, because when it comes to doing catastrophic damage to the human body, COVID has nothing on Dodger dogs. Plans are being made to reopen schools immediately in the state, and movie theaters and indoor dining could be returning imminently as well. And with everything open, Californians can once again make plans to get some gluten-free, non-GMO avocado kombucha with their friends, and then flake out at the last minute. I'm sure that California's imminent reopening has nothing at all to do with the next story. There is a petition to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom for his handling of the coronavirus, and it looks like it'll be a success. The petition requires 1.5 million verified signatures by March 17th. According to the organizers, they're already at over 2 million, although not all of those signatures are verified yet. Newsom responded by saying, 2 million? Those are rookie numbers. Okay, he didn't actually say that, but he looks like he would. He actually has been mostly silent on the subject until now. In his first statement on the matter, Newsom's spokesman, Dan Newman, said the Republican recall scheme is a transparently partisan attempt to install a Trump supporter as governor of a state that elected Newsom and rejected Trump in historic landslides. Bernie Sanders also criticized the recall effort, tweeting, "Right-wing Republicans in California are trying to recall Gavin Newsom for the crime of telling people to wear masks and for listening to scientists during COVID. Extremist Republicans have done enough to undermine democracy already. We must all unite to oppose the recall in California." Senior advisor to the Recall Gavin Newsom campaign, Randy Economy, pushed back against Sanders' statement, saying, "I don't think Bernie Sanders knows what his own followers and fans and voters are doing here in California." He claimed that 31% of the petition's signatures were from Democrats. No wonder Bernie Sanders supports Gavin Newsom. More than anyone, Sanders knows what it feels like to have his political aspirations stolen by Democrats. If the petition is successful, then, likely in the fall, California voters will be given the option to recall Gavin Newsom. The way recalls work in California is voters are given 2 questions on the ballot. 1, do you want to recall the governor? And if so, 2, who do you vote to be their replacement? The last time a California governor recall attempt qualified for the ballot was in 2003. It resulted in former California Governor Gray Davis being voted out of office and replaced by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, if history is any lesson, after the next recall, the California governor will be a prominent celebrity, which means we can all look forward to future California Governor Cardi B. The B actually stands for bureaucracy. So what do you think about the stories we covered? Leave your comments below. And remember, America Uncovered is supported mainly by viewers. Be sure to visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered. Contribute $1 or more per episode. We rely on your support to help us keep making great episodes. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.